everyone, welcome to another Ubumbo yoga session. My name is Lynette and I will be guiding you through today's class. So before we begin our class, we're going to begin in a nice cross-legged sit. But before we begin, I just want you to take a moment to close your eyes, settle down, close your eyes, and draw your shoulders up and backwards. And inhaling softly through the mouth, the nose, and exhaling through the mouth. And take a couple of deep inhales and exhales through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you're doing this, I just want you to think about gratitude and grace. Just think about what that means to you and what those words might bring up when you hear them. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Now I just want you to take a normal breath, a normal way that you breathe. So inhaling through the nose, gently exhaling through the nose. Stay centered here. Just bring your attention and your awareness onto your yoga mat. There's no rush. You're not going anywhere. You're here now. You might as well stick with it. So inhaling one last time through the nose. And gently exhaling through the nose. And then open your eyes here. And when you open your eyes, I want us to take a couple of circles with our bodies. So if you've practiced with me before, we usually take a couple of circles with our necks. Now I want us to take circles with our bodies and circling our waists. That's a good deed for our digestive system. So we're just going to tap into that a bit. So I just want you to stay centered, stay seated as you are, and shift your body forward as you're shifting your waist forward as well, and then round your waist and then backwards and bring it back to the front. So you're gonna bring the breath with you here. So you're gonna inhale to bring it to the front and exhaling, inhaling. So it's almost as if you're twisting your spine, your waist, your upper body, just making sure you're seated onto the yoga mat, twisting, circulating your body, circling, whichever one works for you. We're going to do this 2 more times on this side, and we're going to swap sides. When you get to center, we're going to bring it back to the other side, inhaling. Maybe finding a little bit of a flow here with this. Going at your own pace. If you want, maybe you can actually just go a bit wider. Inhaling. Gently exhaling. Feeling. Okay. And bring it back to center. So from here, I want us to take a couple of forward folds, forward bends. So you're going to bring your legs out as wide as you can, and you're going to stay rooted on your sit bones. Sit on your bum is rooted firmly onto the yoga mat. And then you're going to take this right leg and you're going to bring it inwards. Make sure the front of your foot is pressing into your left hip. And now when you're here, I want you to make sure you've got that alignment, you're centered, your left sit bone and your right sit bone are seated onto the yoga mat. And when you get here, you're going to inhale, reach your arms all the way up, and you're going to face to the left where that leg is, and you're going to gently start to forward fold, maybe forwarding from the chest, finding a lift through your chest, and then forward fold all the way down. So if you can forward all the way down, and maybe reach for your foot and rest your forehead on top of your knee. If this is too painful or it's a bit too crunchy for you, maybe you are just lifting your neck and your chest a little bit and you're staying here, or maybe you're holding onto your shins and you're forward folding even a bit further. So for some people this is actually really tight. You might actually just be here, forward folding a little bit, maybe just finding a little band in your elbows. Otherwise you're all the way here. Breathing in through the nose, gently breathing out through the nose. So when you're breathing in, you're going to feel a nice deep stretch on your right side. It might, sometimes it feels like a fire sometimes, like a little fire just sparked up your side. No worries, that's just part of the pose. Inhaling one last time, exhaling, and then release your foot and gently start to lift back to center. So when you lift yourself back up, there's no rush here. Don't rush yourself back up because it's actually bad for your lower back. You want to slowly lift yourself back up. And now we're going to do that on the other side. So now reaching your right leg out and folding your left leg and making sure your foot is pressing into your right hip. And inhaling to reach your arms up and then facing to the right and then gently forward folding all the way here. So maybe you want to try and make sure that whatever you did on the other side, you do the same on this side. Or maybe if this side is a bit more flexible, you might even hold your foot on the side and rest your forehead on your knee, or you're just here hanging out and making sure that that right foot is flexed and it's active and your hands are active and your neck is active. Otherwise you're just hanging out here, inhaling through the nose and gently exhaling through the nose. Inhale through the nose, gently exhaling through the nose. One last one. Gently and slowly start to bring yourself back up. We meet back in center and reach that left leg out again, and maybe try to open your legs even wider. And when you get here, I want you to reach your arms up and over, and I want you to drop that right hand onto your right shins and then forward and stretch to the sides with your left hand. So hanging out here for 5, 3, making sure that the left hand is pointed to the sides and you're active. And exhaling gently, bringing yourself back to center. Reach your arms up and over and drop your left arm on top of your left shin and then gently side stretch to the left. We hang out here for 5, 4, 3, Exhale to bring it back to center and gently lower your hands down. So from here, you're going to bring your knees or your legs back and you're going to sway them onto the sides, and we're going to find ourselves in tabletop position. So when you're in tabletop position, I just want you to make sure you've got that alignment, and the alignment is your wrists over your shoulders and your knees over your hip bones. So we're going to take a couple of cat cows here. So on an inhale, I want you to drop your belly down and look up towards the ceiling, cow pose. And then exhale to round your spine and tuck your bum in, cat pose. Inhale to drop your belly down and look up towards the ceiling into cow pose. And then gently exhaling around your spine, tuck your bum and look towards your belly button, cat pose. So maybe finding a flow with this, going at your own pace. Let's take a couple of those, maybe let's take 5. Taking your breath with you. Inhaling around. So you start to feel a little bit of like movement or a certain tingly feeling in your spine. If that happens, that's totally fine. That's just your spine waking up and greeting you, saying hello from the spine world, up towards the ceiling. Exhaling around your spine and tuck your bum in. Inhaling to drop your belly down, look up towards the ceiling. And exhaling to round and tuck your bum in, look towards your belly button. And together we meet in tabletop position. Okay, so from tabletop position, I want you to reach your arms a bit forward and then start to push back onto your hips, lifting, lifting, lifting. And you are now in a downward facing dog. Maybe walking your feet a bit inwards here to make your downward dog a bit shorter. Inhaling in your first downward dog. And gently exhaling. Inhaling through the nose. And gently exhaling through the nose. And now I want you to inhale to bring your right foot forward, followed by your left foot, and forward fold here. Let go, releasing your neck and maybe releasing your hands, releasing your upper body, maybe swaying from side to side here. If you want, you can take ragdoll arms. That means your right hand is going to hold on to your left elbow and your left hand is going to hold on to your right elbow. And swaying from side to side here, release the neck, release the shoulders down. Inhaling. Gently exhaling. Inhaling. Gently exhaling. And on your next inhale, I want you to drop your hands and look up into a halfway lift, hands on the shins, and you're staring directly in front of your mat. And exhaling, drop it to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, facing directly and hands on top of your shins, straight back. And exhaling to forward fold. On your next inhale, I want you to gently and slowly roll up, all the way up into a standing. But I want you to do it so slowly that you feel your spine rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Rolling up slowly. And we meet in a mountain pose. And from here, I want you to reach your arms up and over into Hastasana, high mountain pose. And bring it back through center, prayer hands. And bring it all the way back down. Maybe let's find a flow here. Inhale, reach up and over. Hastasana, high mountain pose. Interlace your hands together. Bring it down through center. Inhale to look up and reach your hands up and over. Hastasana, high mountain pose. And exhaling all the way down. And now I'm going to face this side so you guys can see me. I want us to side stretch a bit. So you're going to inhale, reach your arms up and over. And when you get here, I want you to interlace your hands together. You probably can't see my hands. Interlace your hands together and maybe make sure the index finger and the thumbs are pointing forward like this. So inhaling, interlacing your hands together, and on your next exhale, I want you to side stretch to the right. So don't do too much here, just side stretch gently as far as you can. No pain, no pressure, no rush. And then inhaling, bring it back to center. And then exhaling, side stretch to the left. So you're almost like a banana here. In the kiddies yoga class, we call this banana pose. You're going to inhale, bring it back to center. And exhale, side stretch to the right. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, side stretch to the left. And next inhale, bring it back to center. And reach your hands back down into mountain pose. So from here, we are going to move back into a downward facing dog. So we're going to reach up and over. And then swoop it all the way down into a forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, straight back. And exhaling, plant your palms onto the yoga mat and step it back into a downward facing dog. Breathe deep in your downward facing dog here. Gently exhaling. On your next inhale, I want you to reach your right leg up into a three-legged dog. Stay here for one breath. And exhaling, bring that leg forward in the middle of your hands into a low lunge. Making sure that front leg is nice and bent. And you've got your hands or your fingers planted onto the yoga mat. And that back leg is straight, pressing into the tops of your foot. Staying in your low lunge. Breathing here in through the nose. Out through the mouth. On your next inhale, I want you to drop that back knee down and bring your foot flat onto the yoga mat, and maybe finding a little bit of a bend even forward a bit more, and then swoop your arms up, find a little cactus, and maybe lift up through the chest and back bend a little bit here. If you're feeling frisky, you might even interlace your hands together at the back and just rest them gently on top of your neck. Inhaling here through the nose. Exhaling. So making sure you're not dumping your weight onto your lower back. You're finding a lift through the chest. So if this is not working out for you today, you might just be here with your hands up, or you might even just be here, just hanging out here. Otherwise, you are here with everybody. One last breath. And exhale to bring your palms back onto the yoga mat and bring that leg back into a3-legged dog. And lower your right leg down. So maybe coming into a child's pose here, lowering your knees down and opening your knees as wide as the yoga mat, and big toes come to touch the back, and shifting your weight forward and lowering back into a child's pose. So we're not staying here for long. We're just going to take 2 breaths in through the nose, gently exhaling. Inhale through the nose, gently exhaling. So start to shift your weight back up here, bringing your knees in, walking your hands forward a bit, and together we meet in a downward facing dog. So inhaling to reach your left leg up and over into a 3-legged dog. Stay here for 1 breath. And then the next exhale, reach that leg forward in the middle of your hands into a low lunge. Making sure your back leg is nice and straight. And making sure that front leg is bent. And your palms are planted onto the yoga mat. You're in your low lunge. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Gently exhaling through the mouth. Let it go. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. On your next inhale, I want you to drop that back leg or that right knee down and then flatten the tops of your right leg on the yoga mat. And if you're feeling frisky, reaching your arms up and forward, finding a little cactus and a back bend here like you did on the other side. And you might even interlace your hands, the back of your head, and just let the thumbs hang out here on the neck. Looking up, active, and breathing in through the nose. So if you're not here, you're just here with your arms up and over, or you're just hanging out here. Deep breath in through the nose, and a deep breath out. Inhaling through the nose, and exhaling through the mouth. And inhale, release, and bring your hands back onto the yoga mat. And together we meet in a downward facing dog. Just hang out here, breathing in through the nose. Maybe walk your doggy inside a bit. And maybe you gently bend the right knee and bend the left knee. Swaying from side to side in your downward facing dog. Finding what feels good. And on your next inhale, I want you to reach your body forward. Find yourself in a plank pose. And we hold plank for 10, 9, 8. I know for some of you, you're probably like, oh my gosh, she's crazy. How are we supposed to hold plank for 10 seconds? You're almost there, everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way down and lower your forehead down onto the yoga mat. Release your hands onto the side. Take a gentle rest here, in through the nose. Maybe just seeing how your heart rate has suddenly changed from the beginning of the class till now, just observing and seeing what's going on inside. And in your next inhale, I want you to bring your hands outside your yoga mat. And then maybe lift your elbows up. Your feet are planted, the tops of your feet are planted firmly on your yoga mat. And maybe slowly start to lift your chest up, your head. Look forward a bit, Don't dump your neck out like this. No, that's bad for your neck. So just gently and gracefully looking in front of you. Maybe if you can straighten your hands here. Cobra pose. And bring it back down. Let's do this 3 more times. Inhaling, lifting through the chest, gracefully and gently. And exhaling, slowly lowering down. Inhaling, lifting your chest, straightening your elbows, and gently lower all the way down. Cool, well done everybody. From there, I want you to bring your hands inwards and push back onto your knees. And together we meet in a downward facing dog. And from here, I want you to reach your right leg up and over, 3-legged dog. Bring that leg forward in the middle of your hands. Low lunge and lower your left knee down. Firmly plant the tops of your left foot on top of the yoga mat. We're going to come into Hanumanasana, monkey pose. So from here, I want you to maybe slide your back leg a bit backwards. And then start to shift your hips backwards, straightening your front leg and flexing those toes. And then maybe you reach your hands to the side. If you can, start to lower down onto that knee. Hanumanasana, monkey pose. If you can even find you can even sink a bit lower into your hips and forward fold even a bit more. Inhaling here, we're going to hold here for 2 breaths. 1 in through the nose, out through the nose. Last one, in through the nose and out through the nose. Gently start to bend that front leg and bring your hips backwards and reach or lift that back leg up. You are now back into a low lunge, and from here we meet back in downward facing dog. Take a rest here in your downward dog. If you wish, you can take child's pose. You're more than welcome to. Inhaling through the nose. Gently exhaling through the nose. On your next inhale, if you are in child's pose, let's meet back in downward facing dog. And inhale, reach your left leg up and over, 3-legged dog. Exhaling to bring it forward in the middle of your hands and drop your back knee down. Plant the tops of your right leg on top of the yoga mat. Low lunge, and we're going to take Hanumanasana on the other side. So maybe sliding that back leg a bit backwards. And from here, start to find or shift your hips backwards as you straighten your front leg and point or flex your feet, your left feet. And then maybe gently find a forward fold here. Breathing in through the nose, and gently breathing out through the mouth. So you might even find a bit of a lower sink here in your Hanumanasana. Go ahead and do that. And maybe forward fold even more, resting your forehead onto your knee. One last breath in through the nose. And gently exhaling through the mouth. And bring it back. Shift forward into a low lunge. And together we meet in a downward facing dog. Lower your knees down and open them as wide as the yoga mat. Big toes come to touch at the back. Sink low. and rest in your child's pose. And gently start to bring yourself back up. Bring your hands inward into a tabletop position and your knees in. And from here, curl your toes under and walk your hands forward and shift back into a downward facing dog. And from here, reach your right leg all the way up to the front of the yoga mat and reach your left leg all the way up and forward fold here, releasing your neck and your head, bending your knees a little. Bending your knees a little here, swaying from side to side. Inhaling to halfway lift, straight back, hands on the shins, look forward. And exhaling, drop it back down, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, hands on shins, look forward. And exhaling to reach it all the way back up into Hastasana high mountain pose, and exhaling back through center. Together we meet in mountain pose. So I'm going to face the side so you can see me properly. We're going to come into ego pose. So for us to come into ego pose, I just want you to wrap your right hand under your left hand and then maybe find a clasp here, or maybe even hold your hands together like this. Otherwise, leave them as is. And then from here, I want you to wrap your right leg over your left leg. Maybe just wrap it over and bring your little toes to touch the yoga mat on the sides. And then start to sink down here as if you're taking chair pose, but you're actually taking ego pose. And then maybe actually just wrap your foot all the way and sink a bit lower. Find a lift through your chest here. Trying to balance, holding for 5, 4, 3. Oops, my ego is falling. And 1, gently unravel and unwrap yourself and start to shake your body, or shake that left leg out. Wiggle your body. And we're going to do that on the other side. So wrapping your left hand underneath your right hand. So the left side is always weird. And now wrapping your left leg over to your right leg. Trying to balance here. Maybe finding a sink down, and make sure that right leg is holding you, and find a lift through your chest, holding for 5, 4, sink a bit lower, belly is tucked in, and gently release. Shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. And from here, we're going to bring our legs as wide as our hips. And we're going to reach up and over into Hastasana high mountain pose. Bring it back through center and forward fold here. Release your neck, release your head. Inhaling to halfway lift. And exhaling to forward fold. Now plant your palms onto the yoga mat. Step it back into a plank pose. Let's hold plank for a little while here. You're active in your plank. Your belly is tucked in for 3 breaths. 3, 2, 1. And lower your knees onto the yoga mat. Maybe sway your hips to the sides here. And coming back into a cross-legged sit. So now to cool down, we're just going to take a couple of neck rolls and shoulder rolls, and then we're going to come onto our backs, and we will end our practice off in Shavasana. So close your eyes here and inhale to roll your shoulders up and back. So maybe inhaling, rolling your shoulders to the front and up and back, finding circular motions with this, finding a little flow here, and then maybe rolling your shoulders onto the other side, so front, backwards and up. Shoulder rolls. And let's bring it back to center. And from here, I want us to draw little circles with our nose. So maybe starting from the right, drawing a little circle, acting like your nose is a pencil. And you're drawing your little circles with your nose. Doesn't have to be perfect circles. This is just so we can find a release on our necks. Often we forget about our necks and we get neck pains, and we always wonder where those neck pains come from. But it's from all the work we do with our necks throughout the day. So maybe reversing the circle. Breathing in through the nose. Drawing circles. 2 last ones. And gently bring it back to center. You might even feel a little bit dizzy after this. I feel a little bit dizzy. And from here, we're going to come onto our backs. Just come onto your back here and just make sure your knees are planted onto the yoga mat and your hands are out as wide as the yoga mat. And now I want you to reach your left leg out and bring your right knee up and over and hold onto the knee with both your hands. So if you practiced with us last week, we did this a bit. So now you're going to find a couple of circular motions with your ankles. Circular motions are circling your ankles. Breathing in through the nose. Gently breathing out. And maybe pull that knee over to your right armpit. Or act as if you're pulling that knee over to your right armpit. Of course, it doesn't have to reach the actual armpit, but it's just for reference. Maybe reversing that circular motion with your ankle. And then bring it back to center. Gently drop that right leg, flop the toes out, and bring your left leg in. Hold on to the knee with your hands, finding circular motions here on your ankles like we did on the other side. And inhaling through your nose. And draw that knee out or out to your left armpit. Maybe reversing the circular motions on the ankles. And gently drop that leg, the left leg out. And then flop your fingers onto the side. Come into Shavasana. Breathing in through your nose. Gently exhaling through the nose. Just take a deep rest here. And just feel as if the earth is holding you down. Or maybe find that feeling that something or a little cord down the earth is gently pulling you down by the knees, by the ankles, your waist, your wrists, and your shoulders, and the back of your head. Relax. Release that clench in your jaws. Let go of your belly, let loose of your belly. Deep inhales through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Slowly start to bring your awareness back into the room, listening in on any sounds that you can hear. Maybe wiggle your toes a little bit here, and wiggle your fingers a bit. And bring your knees inwards and hug your knees with your hands. Thank your body for practicing yoga with you, for coming to the yoga mat today. And then maybe roll your knees and your body over to one side, using your one hand as a pillow. Taking a breath in here through the nose. Gently exhaling through the mouth. And press yourself back up into an easy sit, cross-legged sit. Bring your hands to your knees and gently open your eyes here. If you like, you can say Namaste, meaning the light in me acknowledges and respects the light in you. So Namaste, everybody. Thank you for practicing with me today. And if you liked this session, you can go ahead and subscribe onto the Ubumbo YouTube channel so you can get notifications whenever we have another session like this. And don't forget to take pictures of yourself and tag the Ubumbo page on Instagram or Facebook, whichever one is your favorite. Thank you so much, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a lovely and easy and beautiful and calm Sunday. Namaste.